It's okay.
Phyllis, I added my location onto my name thinking it might be neat to see where everybody's from on the call.
I thought that was a great idea, Tammy. I'm glad you did that because I knew that that was my Tammy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so sweet. I miss you, Phyllis.
I miss you too, dear.
So if you all bring the participant list up and hover over your name, you'll get two little buttons. One says mute and one says rename. And you can change, you can add your city, state, or whatever you want.
Thank you. I'm going to do that.
Got mine. Yay. Phyllis Traylor, Shirts, Texas. Is that what that says?
Yep.
Yes, you pronounced it correctly. A lot of people don't the first time.
How else could you pronounce that?
Oh man, you
Oh,
would
okay.
you would be surprised.
No, not really. Remember Manchac?
There's Carol Ray.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Carol. You're looking
I
good.
just got here.
That's okay. We weren't going to start without you.
Yes,
Okay.
we were.
It's right at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
Agenda real quick, Phyllis.
okay. I did send you guys the agenda, so I'm just going to start off right quick. My name is Phyllis Traylor, and I'm one of the this evening. I'm going to do a few housekeeping items. At this time, I ask that you all please mute your microphones so we can limit the background noise that causes interference when others are speaking. I will be monitoring the chat area, so if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share, we are using the Zoom platform, so there is a link for you to raise your hand to share your comment or ask a question. I will identify those who have raised their hands and take you off mute so you can share your comment or question. We want this to be a very interactive experience, meaning lots of audience participation, yet we don't want to be talking over one another. With that being said, we highly encourage audience participation. Again, my name is Phyllis Traylor. I'm the owner of my San Antonio Mobile Notary and Texas Notary Public Training Academy. And I am here with Valerie Dennis, Beth Hathoot, and Notary to Pro owner Carol Ray. And I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves.
Okay,
We'll start off with let's start off with Valerie.
Okay.
Okay. So I live in Austin, Texas. I've been a notary signing agent for about 2.5 years. And I jumped into this like I was jumping off a bridge. I mean, I had lost my job about 1.5 years before, and I was driving for rideshare, Uber, Lyft, and whatever else. And I absolutely hated it. And so a friend of mine said, hey, I was going to get my notary and to earn some extra money. And that's when I remembered that we did a refinance, and the notary that came to our house to do.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got it. And
okay,
so the notary came and she did this full time. So on my birthday in 2017, I applied for my commission and I got commissioned, and I did Carol Ray's Notary to Pro. I jumped, and then I started doing what she said, sign up with all these people. So I did, and about 1.5 weeks after I did that, I got my first signing, and then 6 or 8 months after that, I quit driving and the driving gig, and I've been doing this full time ever since.
Thank you, Valerie. Okay, Beth. Oops, let me unmute you, Beth, or unmute yourself.
I get it?
There you go.
Okay. Beth Hathoot. I'm in Arizona, Phoenix, Valley metro area. I've been a notary for 24 years and notary signing agent for 14. Although I've said that for a long time, so it might be 15 now. I'll have to count. I actually started in title and escrow here in the Valley and thought I was going to lose my mind. So I quit that job. Very high pressure job, Carol. I know where you were struggling all of those years. That makes an amazing constitution to be in title and escrow, I'll tell you. Quit that job, started my notary service, but I jumped right in with both feet. I was going to say 4 feet because I had a partner with me at the time, and opened a signing service. And while that was trying to get started, I actually took a job with Harley Davidson, and I was a software trainer, and I would travel across the country and train Harley Davidson employees on their system software. So while my signing service was getting up and going, I would field phone calls while I was training. That was the trick. And assigning notaries to these orders. After I got tired of traveling every week for 7 years, I finally said, that's enough of that, and just started doing it myself. And then we had the market crash, so that was another big issue. So I've been doing this for a while, but Carol Ray's course back an eon ago, took it again, and took her elite course when that came out, and just been training like a fool ever since. You can never train too much, right, Phyllis?
That's true. I agree 100%. Okay, Carol.
Okay, well, my name is Carol Ray, and my first commission was I was trying to remember whether it was something like 1963 or 4. I was training to be an escrow officer with Security Bank in Los Angeles. And that was my first commission, it was in California. From then I stayed home for many years with my children, raising 3 kids. When I went back to work, I ended up as an escrow officer. I did that for quite a while. And then I became an escrow manager. I worked for 2 different types of companies. One was an independent company, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Corporations here in California. And then I started an escrow company for a large Century 21 office and ran that for, I can't remember how long. One day my daughter brought in a little toddler, my first grandchild, and another one in a little little scooter, not scooter, a little, what do you call them? Well, whatever they put them in. Yeah, baby stroller. My husband's in here, thank goodness. And I didn't have time to talk to them. And right then and there, I resigned. And I said, I can't do this. I've dreamed of having grandchildren all my life, and I wanted to stay home with them. And we had moved to Arizona in 2005. I was already doing signings in California. And then when we moved there, my husband and I started doing signings together. And we only had 1 car, that's all we wanted. And we enjoy being together. We're heading to our 57th year of marriage, which I'm very grateful for. And we did that for 7 years. But in 2009, I realized that there was no comprehensive training. I mean, no detailed. People need to have, they need to know exactly what they need to do to be successful. And most of the training, if there was any, was through the NNA. And it was very cursory. It was just the basics of documents, and you can't do anything. You just point and sign. That's all you can do. And so I started Notary to Pro. We're in our 11th year now. I'm 77 years old, and we've just taken off like a rocket, just really in the last couple of years. I'm really happy to know that we've made a mark in this country. We haven't counted, but we think it's about 8,000 graduates over the years. And even the NNA now is asking me to write articles for them, which I think was kind of a big deal. And I'm so proud of my graduates. And all three of these ladies that have introduced themselves are my babies, my graduates. And that's the way I feel about them. They're my family. They're like my kids. And so the mentoring now, I have 2 daughters that have stepped in and they are taking over. And all I have to do now basically is write, run groups, mentor. And that's it. So I'm very happy. And I want you to know that as of an hour ago, we had 551 people signed up to either be here in person if they could, or to get the replays and be a part of this group. So I welcome all of those who are here, and we hope that you'll share your stories with us, even if it makes you feel very vulnerable. We are a vulnerable society of seniors who are being mistreated, abused, neglected, and not respected for the kind of professionalism and experience and wisdom that we have. So I hope everybody will open up and share. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Phyllis.
Well, thank you, Carol. A little bit of background about myself. I didn't share any background about myself. Like I said earlier, I'm the owner of my San Antonio Mobile Notary and Texas Notary Public Training Academy. I've been doing this since about 2012. I think I was one of Carol's first graduates back in the day. I'm also a contributing writer for the American Association of Notaries. I'm retired from the Army. I was a former full-time assistant professor and online instructor, and I still teach for the college every now and then online. And thanks to Carol's great mentoring and training, in 2018, I was one of the National Notary Association's Notary of the Year special honorees, and also Carol had me speak in her behalf at that particular conference because she was unable to make it. So I was there representing Notary to Pro on Carol's behalf, and I was very honored to do that. So this evening, we're going to be talking about, as we get older in this profession, what changes do we have to make? And we do, as we get older, we do have to make some changes. You know, our bodies just don't act the way they used to. Our minds are still there. We're still functional. We're still good. You know, we just don't move like we used to. So there's some changes that we have to make. So this was, by the way, Primetime Notaries was the brainchild of Beth Hathoot. So I want to always recognize that she is the one that came out with this. And she's the one that came up with the topic this evening. So I'm going to let her explain a little bit more about that. Beth, you got to unmute yourself.
Am I muted again?
Okay, you're good.
Like you said, Phyllis, our minds are still there. Our bodies don't necessarily function the way they used to. And as we get older, when I started in 2001, I was a go-getter. I just thought the sun would never set. And it worked for many years. When I was doing my training with Harley, I would fly out on a Sunday to anywhere of 800 different stores in the US. I would fly out on a Sunday. I would set up equipment on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'd train Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and Friday morning, and I'd fly out Friday night, and I'd go home, wash my clothes on Saturday, and I'd go back out on Sunday. And I did that it was a sundown project with Harley. So it was only supposed to last 5 years. So in that interim, I started the signing service. I got my husband on board, got him his commission, my sister, she was on the other side of the valley, perfect coverage, and 2 friends. So I had 4 notaries that I'd work with in my signing service. And in those days, if you had a relationship with a company, I would just tell them, call me in the morning, give me your list of orders you have, and we'll get them placed. And that's how I operated. When I would take a week off during the month, that's when I would do the signing. So it was go, go, go all the time. I can't do that anymore. When that project came to a close, it was actually supposed to be for 5 years. It lasted for 7. And when that project came to a close, that was right at about the same time that the market crashed. So we started in 2001. We had 7 years of running your fanny off, trying to get everything done and do everything right, and taking Carol's course and blah, 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 blah. And so it was 2008, my project with Harley is done and the market has crashed. So I'm sitting here going, wow, I went from 100 miles an hour down to about 15 in about 2 seconds. The face of our business changed, but so did the face of my business. I had to find a way to get business on a different level, and I was having trouble keeping my notaries busy. So I ended up letting everybody go. And I just started doing it just for me. Whatever came in had to pay my bills. And then things started ramping up again. You're kind of changing what you're doing because the market has changed. We had to have NNA certifications. We all had to have 100,000 in E&O. So some of those things were a financial burden for me, particularly at that time, because I had to kind of start over. But then I was doing really well again. And I woke up one morning and realized I was getting old. I just said, I don't want to drive 40 miles to Gilbert, Arizona. Carol, you know where that's at. I don't want to drive after dark in the wintertime. Summertime, it's easier because the sun stays up, till 9 o'clock at night. You can do orders later. But you start getting up earlier too. Part of that's just your motivation to do a better job, get more things done, blah, blah, blah. That means you can't stay up late at night. You got to pay for it on one end or the other. So everything changed. Didn't see well at night. Didn't want to drive past, a few mile radius, and I do it by time. And that might change based on rush hour traffic. So while I might drive to a location that's 30 minutes away now during the day, I won't drive to that same location during rush hour because it could be an hour. It could double my time in the car. So I do have back problems now. So staying in my car for more than about 30 minutes is tough for me. So everything has changed. So I had to figure out how to take my radius from here and squeeze it in a little bit tighter and still have a full schedule. And it's been tough. You take Carol's advice times 10. You sign up with not just 100 companies, you sign up with 500 companies. That presented another problem to me. Now I've got all of these companies that I may only do a handful of signings for every month, but now I've got to remember what their particular requirements So I have to keep a list. One says, call immediately when you get the order. The other says, don't call until the day before. One says, fax back always on this file, even if it doesn't say in the file that you have to do fax backs. If it's for this title company and this lender, you just need to know you have to do fax backs. So all of these, crazy requirements. This one needs an invoice. This one doesn't need an invoice. You close it out online, close it out by an email, close it out by making a phone call. So now I got all of these other issues that I have to contend with, and that means I keep a huge list. But at least it's working for me. I don't have to drive the distances and wreck my back. I don't have to drive as much at night because I don't see well anymore at night. So that's how I've kind of changed how my business functions.
That sounds like a big change.
It is a big change.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out how to change it and still keep a full schedule. You have relationships that you build with companies, and sometimes if it's direct to title, they don't necessarily want to hear that you don't want to drive, you can't, or you won't drive to Tempe to take care of their customer, or to East Gilbert. And we're talking, if you didn't have traffic, Tempe would be about 40 minutes. Gilbert would be about an hour and 10 minutes. And if you have traffic, you can double both of those easily in this area. So they don't really want to hear that you don't want to drive. They stop using you after a while. So that just meant more of those closer relationships with more of those, and smaller companies that are willing to work with you,
Mm-hmm.
and for what you can do for them.
Do you do much general notary work or just loan signings?
I do general notary work. It's not the bulk of my business. It's mostly loan signings. The calls that I get for general notary work are not generated off my website as much as my direct marketing to local senior living apartments, assisted living facilities, rehab centers, that sort of thing. And that's where I get a lot of my general notary work. I haven't reached out to attorneys or estate planners much, which is kind of maybe a focus that I want to do, because I'm on, and Carol knows, I'm on the west side of the valley, which is what we call the blue hair side. There's a lot of estate planners over here that I'm probably missing some business there, but that's on my marketing plan for 2020.
Oh, yeah. And you have a lot of senior living facilities over in that area?
Yes, ma'am. We have one senior living apartment complex or assisted living apartment complex about every mile.
Wow.
for all of Sun City, Glendale, Peoria, and Surprise. So it's pretty big.
Wow, that's good. So have you noticed when you started making that transition, did you notice a reduction in your income, or were you able to maintain the same income?
No, I had a drop in income after the market crashed, and I kind of got it built back up and a bit stabilized. And then I woke up and said, holy cow, I'm old. I don't want to do this stuff anymore. I can't do, some things that are required of me. I can't do a 9 o'clock at night. I'm already in my jammies at 9. Sorry, guys. Not doing a 9 p.m. But yeah, there was a little bit of a reduction, and it was kind of scary too, because you're sitting there going, this is my full-time job. It's been my full-time job for many, many years. And it's up to me to make sure that I can generate enough income to pay the bills and do what needs to be done. But it's just perseverance, really, and marketing and knowing what you're going after as well.
Wow, that was good. Thank you, Beth, for sharing. Carol, did you have some questions for Beth? Carol, you're on
Here.
mute. Okay.
There we go. No, not really. She's been doing a great job for a long, long time now, and she's adjusting beautifully. I think what she's done is great. A lot of people can't handle it. It's really difficult, but she's in the heart of reverse mortgage area.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's Sun City, which is where we lived for 7 years, the old Sun City. There's the new Sun City, all retirees. There's Surprise, Arizona. There are so many, because that's where people come to retire. They come from Minnesota. They come from those, snow-ridden countries, which they really are. And, and they move to where it's warm. So it's a rich field. And I've done a lot of stuff about reverse mortgages, but I just wrote an article for NNA about it because it's something that I really enjoyed. Bill and I did a lot of reverse mortgages. And the thing is, people you see on these chats and stuff, that reverse mortgages, yeah, they take a lot of time. You deal with cranky people sometimes. Yeah, you do. Do you deal with health issues that they're facing and it causes them to be slow? You just plan plenty of time. But let me tell you something. If you look at them the right way, when you walk out of that home and you realize that that hour or two that you spent with them has changed their life for the rest of their life. We've been in homes where people were not able to eat food that you'd want to eat, that were barely able to make their bills. They live in terror of losing their homes because they can't pay their taxes. And so, especially for this group that's interested in this, arena, this prime time, I really think that we need to have people take a different look at doing these reverse mortgages because they're wonderful, valuable. So
I have taken Bill Soroka's course for reverse mortgages. Got that certification. I have done a few reverse mortgages. I love reverse mortgages. But I haven't done any this year. And I was just mentioning that to them, that I haven't gotten one reverse mortgage this year. I was fortunate enough last year to get hooked up with a title company that does nothing but reverse mortgages. I did a couple for them last year, and then the very first time that they asked me to do one, and I said I'm not available at that time. That was the last time I heard from them. So when you work with the title company, sometimes they want you to be super signer, in two places at once and that sort of thing. And they will always end up defaulting to a signing service because they only have to make one phone call. So I'm kind of struggling where to fill that gap there, but they, I'm sorry?
no, I was going to say title companies expect you to jump through hoops for them because you're getting more money. You're going to be of service to them.
When this company was not giving me more money.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, no. And most of the time for them, they're located in Scottsdale. And they were wanting me to come and sign in their office. And I said, well, you know, reverse mortgages are older people. It's much more comfortable for them to be in their own environment and to take their time and to sign the documents and whatever they need. They've got their water, their pills, their, you know, whatever they need at their house. And particularly if they have a disability, it's tough for them to get out. And that whole marketing approach elicited a response, well, we'll use you when we can't find somebody then. But I'm going, yeah, okay. So I'm not sure how working direct is going to help me, because they do want you to be super signers. So I'm still trying to figure out that piece. I'm not really sure where that fits in for me, but I could do more reverse signings. I love those.
Okay.
I wanted to pipe in here about the direct also. I have made the decision not to, because I'm concerned about having to commit myself to all day and then only having 2 closings. And there was a slew of requests that came through in Austin area from one of the signing services to have a notary sit in office all day on several different days this month. And I'm like, no, you're going to pay me $70 and you're not going to guarantee me any number of closings, but I have to be available for 8 hours. And, you know, it's a decision that we have to consider. There may be some people who don't need or want, or whose plan doesn't include a guarantee of being able to do $300 or $400 in a day, who would not have a problem. You know, if that's your plan, if this is just for extra income to go sit in an office, that's great. But so there's a lot of factors involved in direct work, in sitting in an office, which that can be 2 different things. You can work escrow direct but never go in the office, and you can work escrow direct but have to sit in the office all day.
That's true. I've never most of my signings, loan signings that I do are directly from directly from title companies, but I don't sit in their office. I'm traveling, and I limit myself to how far I'm going to travel, and of course, how late I'm going to work when I'm doing these. But I have been offered the opportunity to sit in a title company's office all day long and do loan signings. And to me, that just reminds me of having to work for somebody again. You know, I don't have my freedom if I'm committed to sitting in your office all day. So that's why I don't do it. But I enjoy working directly for title companies versus signing companies. And don't get me wrong, there's some great signing companies out there, but I do get paid more working directly with title companies. I get paid more and I get paid faster.
Yep.
One of the good things about doing reverse mortgages too, as Carol was mentioning and Beth, is if you do a good job with reverse mortgages, you can become that go-to person in your area for reverse mortgages, because a lot of people don't like doing them. You know, so if they find somebody that does a good job with the reverse mortgages, a lot of times you're just going to be their go-to person. They're just going to keep coming back to you, especially if you get with a company and that's all they do is reverse mortgages. And I was like that a couple of years ago, and I just got tired because I was doing so many. But it is very lucrative and something to look into. And I think Notary to Pro, Carol, you offer the reverse mortgage training. I think that's where I got my training from.
Yeah, mine's not as intense as Bill's is. He goes into the background and what it's, a lot of stuff I didn't go into. Mine is about the heart of it.
Yeah.
What you do when you walk into the home and how you greet the people and take 10 minutes to make them feel comfortable and safe and confident in you. And I was going to say a couple of things. First of all, Beth, and anybody else out there, there are mortgage companies who do nothing but that. And I know that you have several of them around you, Beth. I can't remember the names. I know one of them has the word orange in it. So you might want to look at that. And that's all they do. But the one thing I found with them, when we were in Arizona, I don't know about other states, I think just about every signing that we went to, reverse mortgage, there was a loan officer there, wasn't there? 90%. 90%, Bill said. And they're wonderful because they're very caring. Also, with regard to signing in a title office, that was a really nice respite. I used to love to do that once in a while. Wouldn't want to do it often. And I could usually count on them having at least 6 signings while you're sitting there. And I think I earned $60 a signing as opposed to the 100 or 100 and a quarter that I used to make. But I loved it because it was just getting off the road, not doing, what we usually did, and just sitting there enjoying the atmosphere, the air conditioning, and and everything else you get when you're sitting in an office. Do we have anybody who wants to ask questions, give us some input, because we got a lot of people out there now. Forgive my phone, but it only rings once. Oh, somebody raise your hand.
Raise your hand or unmute yourself, ask the question.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Okay, is this Julie?
This is Julie from California, from Lodi, right down from Carroll. I'm wondering what you guys are doing about the coronavirus. Are you just not worrying about it? Are you just doing your business as usual? Are you?
Oh my gosh, I have gotten up and down every signing I've gone to for the last 3 days. This whole week has been full of, and you know what I do? Seriously, I am not concerned for myself. And I have to say this with tongue in cheek, because the very first time I do say it, I'm gonna jinx myself, but I never get sick. I haven't been sick in, oh gosh, 10 or 15 years. I've never been sick enough to miss work for any reason that I can remember in 20 years.
See, I have the underlying condition, which is asthma. So, and then the 60 plus, it's like, so I've been rethinking stuff. Yeah. But I don't go out at night either.
I'm 60 plus as well, and I could be jinxing myself right today, and I'm going to get sick tomorrow, but I kind of let people dictate how germophobic the process needs to be. I don't offer to shake hands, and honestly, half the people here lately, they answer the door with their hands up like they're
yeah.
And blah blah blah, come on in. It's like, don't touch me.
I let them open the door now. I used to let myself out, but now I let them open the door. It's like, okay, you can do it. Yeah. Your germ, not mine.
I think this is an important discussion right now, though, because I just talked to somebody this morning from El Salvador, and they've closed their borders. My husband has been a member of the U.S. Coast Guard auxiliary for 20 years, and I think in the first time ever, they have canceled some big events. The basketball, what is it? The NBA has put a curtail on a lot of their events. It's of concern, and I think we need to really pay attention to it. So I think that we should share things that we can do to keep from, just inviting it into our lives.
Well,
Carol.
yeah. I, for me, what I did was I'm just recovering from from pneumonia, and I have asthma also. So I am usually in the past, I've been able to bounce back, but as I get older, your recovery period is longer. And so I'm not trying to rush my recovery this time. So with this coronavirus and, being so close to San Antonio, and San Antonio is one of the quarantine areas, and last month they let somebody out of the quarantine without getting the results back. When they got the results back, the person had already been to the mall and all over other places in San Antonio. So I'm taking it very seriously. So my general notary assignments, I'm just passing them on to my students.
Phyllis, somebody needs to be muted. Okay.
Hello?
Good.
Hello? Can anybody
Hello?
hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you, Patricia.
Hi, how is everybody this evening? Here's my thought on Corona, among other things, and I've been a loan signing agent since June, been with Carol since June, and what I have learned really about taking care of yourself prior to Corona or COVID. Some of these homes that you go into are hazmat situations anyway. So I try to be smart. Before this, I always did keep the Clorox wipes. I keep boot covers because number one, I don't want to take my shoes off when I go into somebody's house, but I'm respectful of if they're walking around in their socks, I don't want to have my shoes on from outside. And I ask permission if it's okay to put on the boot covers. But to be honest, some of the places are so nasty, I really don't even want to sit down. But this is our job. So I make sure that I keep my hands clean. I wipe down my steering wheel. And if it's really, really nasty, I ask them would they like the pen? Would they like to keep the pen? And they always say yes. But again, it is what it is. If somebody is sitting there coughing, I'd have to leave and I'd have to go into my car and call somebody to say, it's an unhealthy situation. But I've had tables that were nasty or no tables, or I keep a portable table in the trunk of my car. There were more pets than there were people and they were running around all over the place, so. And Phyllis, I understand with you, if you already have a cold or you got respiratory problems, I wouldn't put myself through that, and I'm 68. Scares me to say that sometimes because I'm like, I don't feel it, but that's what it is. And in terms of assignments, I tell them, oh, I already have something at 7 and 8 o'clock, but I don't do anything that's past 5 o'clock because I'm in Chicago. It gets dark quick. Now, if it stays lighter longer, I'll start to accept. But what I do offer them that has really been helping me a lot is I offer to work on Sundays before 2 o'clock. And I've been getting a lot of business that way. Saves them on split signings, and I'm available for people who their shifts don't allow them to sign at the same time. So between title and signing services, it's been really working out, offering that has given me, I think, an edge. And that's all I have to say.
Very
Be
good.
a part of the group.
Thank you, Patricia. Do we have anybody else that wants to share?
Rosemary's got her hand up.
Rosemary, how do I not see that? Okay, Rosemary. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
Oh, that's where it is. It's on their picture.
Yeah, I'm in San Jose in California, and I'm really concerned about this. And I'm on a lot of notary groups on Facebook, and it's very, very busy here. And everybody's just so happy that it's so busy, and I don't understand it because I am super concerned about this, and I haven't been doing any signings the last couple of days. I've been turning down a lot. I really don't want to go into people's homes right now. The cases have been doubling here like every day. And I'm retired as a supplemental income, so I can take some time off. I'm just wondering how it's going to affect my business with signing companies and title if I keep refusing everything.
Oh, I can answer that. I think I spent the whole week refusing jobs, not because I didn't want to take them, but I get a call, and I'm not one of these that I can do jobs back to back.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I have to have some downtime. And so I really want 4 hours. And if I have a job at 9 o'clock, I don't want another one till 1. And then I'll take one at 5, or 6 or something like that. And so I don't think we have to worry about that. I will just say, no, I'm sorry. I have a job at whatever time, and I'm just really not, I don't think it would be in the interest of anybody for me to try to cram that one in. The signing services would rather have you tell them no than to have you say yes, and then at the last minute go, oh my gosh, my last one just took, it took 90 minutes instead of 60. And so, we have to have, no matter how old we are, this is a young person's issue as well. You have to be able to plan your schedule, and you have to be able to say, I'm good enough, I'm worth it enough to say no. I don't have to take every single job that comes along for fear that next week I won't get anything.
I'm just wondering, with the virus, it's getting really bad here. If you can shoot them an email and say, look, I'm very, concerned about this, and I'd like to, put my signings on hold for 2 weeks or a month or something. Would that be acceptable?
There
I
are
personally couldn't do
signing
it.
services that you can put yourself on vacation with.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you couldn't during this situation. I'm sure they'd understand. And if you just want to do a vacation, I'm off for 2 weeks, blah, blah.
Yeah, I can do that on SnapDocs, but you can't do it with everybody. All the apps, you can't do it that way. So you'd have to email them and say you're going to be away or something.
You can do it on your email,
Yeah,
saying that you're not in the office or whatever.
yeah. But it's getting very bad here, and I'm just very concerned about it. And my family doesn't want me to be going out at all.
Well, I would not say I can't do that job because I'm worried about the coronavirus. I would just say I'm not available. The most I will ever do for anybody is say that I've got an appointment that conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually, even if the appointment is because I'm going to dance class. I'm not going to tell them why I'm not going to do the job other than it'll conflict.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're just not available.
I mean, this is a pandemic. This is really serious. I don't know why, I will just say I'm not available, but I don't know why you can't say, I'm concerned about going into people's homes. I don't know if they've just come in from a trip. I don't know where they've traveled to. I don't know if they've been around somebody else that has the virus. I just think it's too risky. I really do.
I personally feel that it would be best for you just to, if it's texted or, emailed to you, just not answer, because everybody's fighting for jobs now. The way they're sending them out, just ignore them. And if it's companies that call you directly, just tell them that you're not available. or call them in advance and let them know that you're going to be out on a vacation for the next 2 weeks or a month. I don't think you need to mention the virus, or because some people will go, "Oh my God, roll their eyes."
Yeah, I know. And I've been taking all the precautions with Clorox wipes and everything, but it's just getting crazy. So I'll do that, though. I'll just say I'm not available.
Oh, okay.
But who knows what it's going to be like next week,
So Judy has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. I was just going to say that, like I told Carol back late last year, I'm not looking to make, 6 figures. I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. I'm a mobile Grammy first and then a mobile notary. And I usually limit myself to no more than 2 a day and try not do them back to back. And I try to do it earlier in the day if possible, but I will take an occasional 6 o'clock signing or something of that sort. But I always, and especially with SnapDocs, and I don't know about some of the other signing companies, but I always respond, "I'm sorry, I'm booked. Please keep me in mind for future signings." I feel like that way, if I'm at least contacting them back, then maybe they think, "Gosh, she's really good and real busy," or whatever. But you know, that's just the way I've always done it. I'll just respond saying, "I'm sorry, I'm booked," or "I'm not available," for this particular signing or something like that. I think the fear is out there of the coronavirus, and I also think that if we project ourselves as having that fear among us, then once it's over, then they're not going to want us. They'll just find somebody else to do their signings. But
Especially
that's just me.
They keep track of the response rate. So I always respond that I'm not available and don't ignore it, because they do keep track of it.
And that's fine. Nobody holds that against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They get more irritated if you don't respond.
Right.
Sharon, did you have a question? You're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
My question is, I've just started. I'm a newbie, and I haven't done any signings. I've done a structured settlement for general notary work, and I'm uploading my profiles, and I'm uploading from Notary Rotary and from Carol's list. And I noticed that some of the companies that I click, you go into it, and it's nowhere for you to sign up. And so I emailed them, and sometimes you get a response back and sometimes I don't. But and then on some of them, I go through, fill the profile out, and I put how many signings, 0, because I'm not gonna lie and say I've done signings and I haven't. And also under that, then you check off the boxes of the signings that you're familiar with. And my boxes are empty because I have not done any signings. And then on some profiles that I've uploaded, I've actually gone to their site, they want you to have at least 2 years experience as a signing agent. So it's kind of been discouraging for me because I'm running into this problem. I've gotten a couple of them from SnapDocs, but they wanted me to travel a long distance for little pay. And so when I reply back with to ask for more money, of course the assignment goes to someone else. So I'm hanging in there, and I'm still, I don't want to get discouraged because I've invested too much money in this. But I was just wondering, when you guys were first starting out, did you run into this problem? Because I'm listening to all you guys, and you're saying that, you're signing, you're having your bunch of signings. Then on some of the Facebook, I see where some of people are saying that they're newbies and they're getting a bunch of signings. And too, I'm in Harris County in Houston and Cypress. So I know there's a lot more signing agents and notaries out here. So that's one of the disadvantages that I'm running into. So I was asking about if you have any anything you can tell me about just continue to do what I'm doing or what?
Well, I can give you some advice, Sharon. One of the things that I noticed early on and that I realized early on is we have experience. Okay. Do you own a home?
Yes.
Okay. So you're familiar with purchase documents.
Yes.
Have you ever refinanced your home?
No.
Okay. Well, this might be a good time, but so the thing is that you are familiar. You may not have gone through them, but you're familiar with the basic package. Think about what you've done in the past to earn $1. How does that relate to loan signings? I used to be a software support technician and a quality analyst professional. Okay. Well, that right there, being in QA, you have to have a great attention to detail. Okay. So maybe you've never sat with somebody and flipped pages over while they sign their loan documents, but you sure have a good eye for something. So craft your profiles.
I've done that.
To include the fact that you have life experience. And don't focus so much on, I only done 0 signings. Okay. Don't, if you have to put the answer of 0, put the answer, but in your profile, turn their focus to the fact that you have a good attention to detail. You've got work experience. You deal with people, and then just keep signing up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm keep signing up. I'm doing that.
If Harris County is anything like Travis County, it's nuts here, and it'll pick up. It's gonna pick up. And
right. It will. And Sharon is, when she says she knew, she's brand new. She's one of my students, so she's just brand new. But you are doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you're just going to need to keep signing up with those services and following up with those phone calls, like I mentioned to you before. And it's just, I know you see a lot of Facebook posts and a lot of YouTube videos where they make it seem like this can happen overnight.
Right.
It's a lot of hard work in the beginning, and it can, I can understand the frustration, especially when you're, spending money and said, okay, where's my return? But your return comes from the hard work, from you signing up with all of those companies and making those follow-ups, marketing, letting people know what you do. It will.
This is Irvin. How many of the companies have you applied for on our list?
I got my list here now. 2, 3, 4, 5. I've applied for 10 companies that I can actually get into the profile where you can sign up, because a lot of them just have just a login, and then I've gone through them and it's nowhere for you can sign up to become to create a profile. And someone told me when it's like that they're already on another platform, or they're with like Notary Rotary or Notary Cafe, and so they get your information from there. Now 3 companies I signed up with, they actually had the information there. If you're with Notary Cafe, just put your information in here. And that's what I did, that's fine. But a lot of them don't have anywhere where you can even go in to sign up. But they list, like notaries, signing agents. But I figured they're with, maybe they might already be on a list where they would just pull your name. Not SnapDocs, but like Notary Cafe, 123 Notary, and Notary Rotary. So that's the problem I'm running into.
Well, I'll tell you, I know for a fact that they're hiring that list of ours, long time list companies that I worked for, have built a relationship with. They now know, a lot of them have been through Notary to Pro, and they respect the quality of the students. But it's grueling work signing up. It's just, everybody wants something different. I know that if you just keep,
that's what I'm doing.
Do it so much every week, and then most importantly of all, you have to be the squeaky wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Have to call them back, remind them, make sure that you've got on their database.
Mm-hmm.
Time for anybody out there, when you start applying to different companies, make note of it. If you've talked to somebody in particular, what did you have to go through to get listed with them?
Right.
You want to reach out to them again within 1 week.
Okay.
And, ask for that person that you spoke to in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you got on the database. If you didn't, tell them whatever you need, I'll provide to you, because I've heard great things about your company, and I want to be put to work. It's difficult, but I can tell you right now that what we're seeing is unbelievable. The brand new students, they get certified and they are working within a week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So just keep at it, because you're going to be great. I know you are.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
she
going to
is.
keep at it. I'm going to keep at it. I also did the information, filled out the paperwork for the proctor. And now what I'm finding is finding somewhere to proctor. But I've called all the libraries and they're telling me no. So I'm going to call a couple of community colleges on tomorrow and see if I can get a location or find a conference room where I can proctor exams. So I am actively looking.
It's just a lot in the beginning.
It's a lot.
Just a lot of work,
Hey guys, this is Irving. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned that you signed up with 10 companies. You need to sign up with 100 companies.
Yeah, at least.
Well, some of us just getting into to be able to create my profile, because some of them, they only have a login. They don't have a sign up.
Then you could just either call them or move to the next company.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been moving, and then I've been finding some, they don't have any information. I don't know if they closed, out of business or not accepting any more clients. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going through both
move
lists.
to the next company then and follow up, like Carol
Are
said.
you a member of Carrie Rivera's Good, Bad, and Ugly? She does a list that has email addresses and phone numbers and everything that you can call and ask who you need to contact to be able to get on the signing registry.
It's Good, Bad, and Ugly?
Yes, it's Carrie Rivera.
Carrie, okay. I'll look for hers too.
Oh, this is Irving. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a quick word for Sharon. I've been commissioned and signed up actually mid-January. And I've done over 30 signings now. So what I would recommend to you is just what they stated. Continue to go into those sites, sign up for as many companies as you can.
Okay.
Look at your time. You got to do you. Look at your time, the time that you have, and if you're available, if you have all of the systems in place, if you have the printer, you have the
scanner,
the transportation, all of that. Take those small jobs. Take them, because you already have the experience. If you've gone through training, you have the experience. Just because you haven't gone out on a signing,
right?
But take those small jobs. And what I've done is I decided that I was going to do at least 10, because I could afford it. I was going to do 10 jobs so that I could get something under my belt, so that I could go out and mingle. I go out and meet individuals. Do that. Look at how many miles you want to travel for that signing.
Right.
If it's only one a day, look at the number of miles that you want to travel. And you travel those miles and you build your confidence up. And forget about social media. Just don't even read it.
Right.
If you read it, you got to read it with the mindset that you are gathering information. You're not going to get your motivation from there. You're going to get your motivation from doing you, writing down your plan, setting your plan up, looking at your budget for your for your business. And if you lose on that first, second, third signing, guess what? You can write it off.
Right.
It's all about your business. So
Okay.
be encouraged. Continue to sign up for those companies.
I am.
And it's going to happen. Trust me, it will happen. You'll begin to get signings, and you'll become selective on the ones that you get.
Okay.
Yeah, but just continue to do what you're doing, and continue to stay encouraged. But again, you got to have your plan. You got to have your business plan. You
Right.
gotta have
Right.
what you are going to do, and when you do that, that door will open, and before you know it, you'll be doing it.
Okay. Yeah, it's I thank you guys for the encouragement, because I'm not gonna give up. So I'm just gonna keep at it.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Trust me, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Right, right.
In respect to what Irvin said too, I want to know whoever out there is as students and people who are not. I've taken a 180-degree turn in something. I've always encouraged my students to not take anything under $100, to know your worth and your value, and to strive for that. I have changed because there's so much competition out there. And this thing with the texting, and if you're lucky, you get the text and all that stuff. The important thing for you right now and anybody who's new is get experience. Now, don't take something for $50. Don't drive, 2 or 3 hours round trip. But if something comes your way that you can handle, that's close by, get the experience, take it.
Right.
Go. You can go as low as maybe $70, but which is I consider low. So, but if you take those, you'll get experience. People will be more than willing to hire you, but you got to be careful because you can get in that loop. They get a hold of a notary pro graduate, they're going to give you tons of work, and you're not going to be able to take the good stuff when it comes along. So you got to monitor yourself.
Yeah, because the few that I've been offered, they've been really lowballing me. Like one of them was like was 110 miles round trip, and it was for a refi, but they only wanted to pay $75. And so I asked them for 100. It was through SnapDoc. And of course, I didn't hear anything back. Then there was another one, but it was like 6:30 at night, and it was basically the same distance going in the opposite direction. And I just wasn't comfortable, going for 6:30 at night. So I declined that one. But, like I said, I did get a structured settlement from a company, and she got my name off a Notary Cafe. So that was a good one, and it went really well, and I got paid within a week, and I got $150 for that one. So I'm hoping to do more work, and I did follow up with a thank you note to her, and ask her if there's any more work to please remember me. So I'm hoping I can get even some structured settlements out. That'll be fine, because I got the experience of how to do a structured settlement.
Right.
So even though it was all notary, but still, she reached out to me. She told me
fine. You're gonna do fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang in there.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna continue with uploading my profile and calling the people because if I can't do a sign up, I'm gonna call and ask them how do I go about sending them the documentation, because I have all of my documentation. So I'm just ready.
I know you are. You're gonna
I'd
do
like
fine.
to say something about Notary Cafe that people may not be aware of. How many people do we have on here, Phyllis? Do you know?
30.
Okay. Hello, 30. But I'd like to say something for those of you who most especially are not Notary to Pro graduates, because it's something you need to know. Everybody should be signed up with Notary Cafe. And the reason for that is that, oh my gosh, probably 15 years ago, they started a software program for signing services, specialized software program where they handle all of their accounting business. They send out the confirmations. They even pay the notaries. They do all of this work. And unless you are signed up with Notary Cafe, all of those companies that use Notary Cafe for their software will not be able to hire you. You have to be a member of Notary Cafe in order to get hired. So
And it's
just
like
so you'll know.
36 or something like $36 a year for Notary Cafe.
Very
It's
inexpensive.
very inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've signed up with them.
Okay, good.
I have some questions whenever, but I don't know how to raise my hand, so I don't know where
Well,
that's at.
Go ahead, Sheila. Let me just,
Go ahead.
Missy has had her hand up for the longest. So,
Go ahead.
Missy, do you still have a question?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll be really quick too. I'm really new. I haven't done any loan signings yet. I just finished with Carol recently. I've just done 3 regular everyday notarizations. I don't hear people talking much about just the everyday notarizations in addition to loan signings, and I'm kind of interested in doing both. And
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many people here are even doing any everyday notarizations, or are you all totally focused on doing nothing but the loan signings?
Yeah. I want to do both.
Yeah, I do both.
Yeah,
I got an answer for you, gals. A very, very important answer. Okay, for everybody, but you as Notary Pro graduates get a discount. You go to the graduates website, and on there we have those merchants, which is graduates teaching graduates. Laura Bewer has the most fantastic program now, and she is notary. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, but she has all the stuff you need to do general notary work, and I'm talking about really intense training, working with attorneys and just doing all of those things. And jails, she's coming up with the jail program now, and she's got the health things. What do you do with people who are in hospice or hospitals and assisted livings? So I suggest to anybody to go to her website, which is coachmelaura.com, and take a look at that, because if you can make, in some of the states now that have raised their rates for notaries, you can make a lot of money. California here, you can probably do as well or better, honestly, than with signings.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Sheila, you had a question?
Yeah, I guess my thing is I'm a little bit technical challenged, so I get a little bit scared sometimes about doing some of the things that I have to do for the signing up for signing services and uploading stuff, and whether I'm going to get it right, I'm going to do it right or whatever. I'm more the kind of person, I'm very good at one-on-one meeting with people. I'm able to build rapport with people. I never have a problem with that. So face-to-face has always been my best work. And even whenever I was doing, for a while, I was doing mortgage, how do I say it? Investing. And I was the kind of person that I didn't mind talking to the people. My main challenge was the paperwork. I have a phobia of paperwork. I don't know why. And so I mainly signed up for the signing service originally to get familiar with the paperwork. I was trying to get over my phobia, but that still hasn't happened yet. And so I would feel comfortable, honestly, walking out and going into, not maybe a title company, but maybe just some mobile home places or maybe to realtors or whatever to market myself. But I know I should have the signing service part first so that I have that to get over my fear, I guess, you know, to have that under me and be able to just, I guess, just get over it, you know, whatever my problem is, and be able to go through that whole process. But I don't know if there's something that would be easier for me to start out with. I know mostly about the loan signings. I did recently learn about the proctorization thing, and I don't know if that's something where it's a deal that you could walk in possibly and, you know, offer yourself, or I know there's auto things also. And I just trying to figure out where I should, as a beginner, and I haven't done any signings, I haven't done any notarizations. I did a notarization years ago, but then so many things went wrong in my life, and I didn't get back to it. And I remember that was the easiest money I ever made. I actually was in a hard money lender's office, and he said something about needing a mobile notary, and I said, oh, I'm a mobile notary. And he said, and he already knew me, so he said, oh, great. He said, well, can you notarize this? So, but like I said, I want to know, I guess, basically what, knowing my personality and the kind of person that I am, and I'm technically challenged, I mean, I know how to get around the internet and everything, but I'm not real good with, I can upload some things, but then I know, like my picture, I can upload it from my phone. I don't know how to do it to my computer, because every time I try to put a picture in my computer, it wants to download all my pictures. And so I get a little bit challenged there, you know, like how am I going to do part of it from the computer and part of it from my phone, or can I do all of it from my phone, or what? So knowing that, maybe you can give me some advice.
There's a lot of YouTube videos on for maybe you can just take some like computer do some computer tutorials. Learning how to upload and download documents.
Okay.
So that's what I would look at. I mean, there's all kinds of training out there for learning how to use your computer, because you're going to have to be able to, in order to do the loan signings, you're going to have to be able to upload the documents, download the documents, scan, and
Yeah, I
print.
don't have a problem with that. That's not such a problem. And I do know I worry sometimes because I have a dual tray printer, but I see this thing about a page separator, and supposedly my machine's supposed to be set up now where it works doing it that way, but then I hear some people have problems sometimes, and they end up having to get the page separator anyway. And
What kind of printer do you have?
it's a Brother
5200?
Yes.
5200, right? Okay, the one that my buddy Bill recommends. And I've never had so many phone calls about a printer not working before.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
Oh, I had 2 today. 2 today.
See, that's another thing that scares me about that, because I figure, well, if I could just walk in and I could just go pick up those documents and from someone, and I could go and meet somebody and do it, I'm fine. But it's all the technical stuff. I get overwhelmed, and I get like a phobia of, I think about everything possible that could go wrong.
Well, in the early years, we used to get them FedEx to us. We didn't have printing. We didn't do any of that. And believe it or not, me running an internet company, I am clueless so many times. I have to get my daughter, because I get frustrated and I cry.
Okay.
That's what happens. That's what I do. I just get frustrated. But first of all, with regard to that 5200, which I'm sure there's more of you out there that have it. Terry just wrote, wow, that's the printer I just bought. Okay. For one thing, I found that a number of them, they didn't put the driver in it. So you're going to have to get a hold of Brother and find out how to put the driver in it. If it's not printing, if it's not separating. the
Well,
page.
it does. I mean, but the only thing is I didn't have anybody to send. I actually went to the one sample that I had, which was a legal, but it wasn't like doing a whole set of docs or whatever. It was just like, it gave me a legal and a standard. And it printed it properly when I put that in, but I just haven't put it, like I said, I was hoping that I had some way to have a sample of some docs, even if they weren't, like a huge package, just to kind of see how it would do with a situation like that. But maybe it'd be fine. I don't know. Without having that to try it out, I don't know. It's hard to find a lot of things online when you try to go.
You were able to print the printer printed the legal and the letter size correctly?
Yes.
Then
you're okay.
It should be fine. It should be fine. I mean, even if you had one to practice with right now, you never know what you're going to run into when somebody, because you don't know how the person that's sending you the documents, how they scanned them. I mean, you just never know. You're not going to be able to say, okay, I'm ready for anything, because you just never know what's going to happen. Somebody can scan the documents incorrectly.
I think because I have never in my life done office work. I've done all kinds of other work. I've been, dental lab technician most of my life. I've been a veterinary technician. I've been a nail technician. I just have never done office work. And so I think that's another thing why I get, and then I'm 66 and I'm going through a lot right now. So it's kind of hard. I get overwhelmed easily.
Mm-hmm. I think once you get started, well, I don't even want to say that. Probably, I don't know how much training you've taken there. I mean, because
I've had training on mostly on as a signing agent with loan docs, and I've had training with all the different types, whether it was a purchase or seller or HELOC or reverse mortgage or refinance, whatever. I have paperwork from everything. I have docs from but they're all from California. I don't have any Texas documents, and I sometimes just wish I had a Texas document so I had something to kind of know what I'm going to be facing if I went out. And then I wonder sometimes if I should just stay with one thing for a while, like maybe just say I just want to do purchase ones or whatever till I've done enough that I feel okay, I feel comfortable with that, and then go do another type of document rather than trying to overwhelm myself with so many different ones in the beginning. I don't know. I'll take any feedback.
My suggestion is you take everything.
Take everything?
Everything. And I don't know who you've had your training through, but if you've been provided these documents, I would study them. I would make notes on them if there's not already notes on them.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of cheat sheets too. Just, it's like I said, I probably, like my instructor had told me, I probably overthink.
Well, I would say take those documents, basic set of loan documents. And people ask, what's the difference between refinance documents and loan documents? They are loan documents.
Uh-huh.
Once you get to know the set of documents, there's always, all these companies have different documents. You're always going to see something different. But if you can get to know the basic documents, the basic things that you need to go through with the customer, which is to give them the benefit of understanding what they are saying in the terms of what they're
and I know how to walk them through the different things and what's most important, you know, like the amount, the loan amount and the interest rate and when their first payment is and all. I know how to point out all those things, you know, and that's you answer their first questions right off the bat, you know, whatever they is,
Then
you know,
Sheila,
most people are interested in.
you have the key. You need to open the door. You need to know that you're going to be okay. Do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody that has your back that you can call from a signing if you have a situation?
No, not probably. I mean, like I said, and Mark Wills is the one that I was with, and but I don't know. I mean, he answers really quick, and we have a Facebook group. I'm on several other Facebook groups. I'm including, you know, Phyllis's, but I ran out of money. By the time I found out about Phyllis, I just ran out of money to take any other classes, so to speak. So I've just been trying to get on different groups and try to learn what I can. That especially dealing with Texas, because I have been taught everything California basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that if you take a set of documents and you mark them, I don't know if Mark provides that or not. I know he has documents. And you mark those with exactly what, maybe circle what you're going to talk about, get the main primary documents, the closing disclosure, the note.
Yeah, we always put all that on top. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, and study those. When you get documents that come in for a signing, compare them and try to keep in mind that, like the compliance agreement or the durable power of attorney that they give to give the lender the permission to make the changes if there are.
I'm familiar with that.
They have 6 different names for those things.
Oh, okay.
You get to know and recognize the contents of those documents. They're going to translate to all of the different forms of documents. And, you know, a lot of newbies understandably do not want to call and ask questions.
I'm not that person. I will call.
There are things, I mean, I'm a trainer. I think I'm good at what I do. I think my students are just great. But every once in a while, I have to tell them, I can't answer that for you. This is something that you have to get from the company that assigned you the work or from the title company. It's just, you just have to do it because there's 3 choices and I can't make that choice for them. But that's what I would say. And just take what you can get so you can get that experience.
So taking that into consideration that I need to call them. See, I'm more of an evening person than I am a daytime, early morning person. But being that right now I need to call, I probably need to take stuff more during the day when people are going to be there to answer my questions than in the
That's
evening,
a consideration.
right?
If you don't have somebody who's there at the phone, waiting for you to be in a signing and need help, then that's
so what hours are best to
9 to 5, but you don't know where they're at. Where are you at? You're in Arizona?
No, I'm in Texas. I'm just outside San Antonio, Texas. So
okay, so you need to know where that company is to keep that in mind. But I would say,
depending on what they're out, what the time zone is there.
Yeah, but Sheila, as being a member of the Texas Notary Public Training Academy, you do have access to a lot of training, and you also have can make appointments for student support.
Right.
All of that is included.
Right.
And
I've gone through a lot of that too. I just haven't set up the appointment. I went to the appointment thing today, but I was waiting until after this webinar to figure out, when to do that. So
yeah, because I know
when to set it up.
Yeah, because I had talked to you and we were supposed to talk offline about setting up some training. So that still stands.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
That experience is going to build your confidence like nothing else.
Right.
You'll do great.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm worried about. I just want to do a really good job. And I even called the Secretary of State and I said, I take it seriously. I want to make sure I do a
Good
good
for you.
job. All right, thank you. Sorry to take so long.
Have we got people out there that would like to talk about the age thing? Jump into it. What kind of problems they've had?
Well, I want to say something. Sheila brings up a really good point. We were not raised with computers. We
Right.
were not raised with technology. We
Right.
did not go through school. So what I would like to ask, because I'm thinking that maybe next month we can talk about what's the parts of technology that are the biggest challenge for us, and what's the part. But if we can get you all, I know there's a small group here, to send us an email. Carol, if you could put the email address in the chat, to send us an email and tell us what your biggest pain points are with regard to technology. And then during the month, then we'll see if we can figure out and maybe put a presentation together to try to answer some of those questions.
Okay.
That's a good suggestion.
Okay, I just posted this to everybody. Primetime Notaries at gmail.com.
Why am I not getting this?
And we also have a Facebook group.
Are you sure it went to everyone?
Yeah.
I said everyone. Did you all get it?
No.
It's to everyone.
All right, what is it, Prime?
Where do we find?
Primetime Notaries at gmail.com.
Oh. Did everyone get that one?
We got yours, Valerie.
Okay.
Why did not everybody get it? Mine says everyone.
Maybe your hair's the wrong color today.
Did you hit enter?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. That's not turning blue. It turns blue when my mouse goes over it.
So again, about the technology.
Yeah. Me first.
Anybody else have any questions? No, Sharon shaking her head.
I will say one other thing is that I saw this on, I think maybe the previous one, because I did watch the two previous webinars replays when y'all were talking about being physically challenged. I've had fibromyalgia for over 25 years, and I have, I guess, like chronic fatigue syndrome. I wasn't really looking to go out and maybe the reason I wanted to do is because I figured I could make the money I needed to make without having to punch a time clock and be there all day for 40 hours a week. I just wanted, if I could get one signing a day, I would be fine. Or, you know, I'm just trying to supplement what I get with Social Security. And but I need the supplementation extremely. But it's just that I'm trying to, it's like I'm not trying, I don't necessarily, if I can do really, really good and make a ton of money, that's great. But I'm just trying to make ends meet, at least. So, so as far as the I was saying I have some physical challenges too, which is why I got into this in the first, one of the reasons I got into this in the first place, because I also wanted to be able to do something that I could make good money without having to work a ton of hours.
I want to ask, Missy asked a question for Texas. She said, quick question for Texas. Is it okay to put a client phone number along with address in the logbook? I'm assuming you're talking about your notary journal, and that's a no on the phone number. I have gotten several conflicting answers. I know we don't record social security numbers, license, etc., but think phone number would be okay. No, you can't put the phone number in there, Missy. You can't put any numbers that are going to identify with the person signing. The only thing you can put their address. It's okay to put the address, but you can't put their phone number.
Great, that's what I needed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the journal is a public record, so anybody can ask to see it in Texas.
And when it comes to that address for Texas, make sure that it's their mailing address. So
Yeah.
it can be a PO box, it can be a UPS mailbox. It does not have to be the house they sleep in.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be their mailing address. It could be any address. That it could be either their mailing address or their residence. So if they want to use something other than their residence, that address they use has to be a place that they receive mail.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
The next meeting should be great with lots of input. That's what EFA said. Okay, do we have any other questions? I think we had a great session this evening. And I'm looking forward to the next one we have next month on computer literacy or computer challenges.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That used to be my world. So
okay.
I encourage everyone that's here, if you're not already in the Facebook group, to join the Facebook group. And Carol, if you would send that out again in a when the replay link is available, just remind people about that.
Yeah, we have a database now of 551 people.
Good.
Which is really amazing in this short a time.
It is. That's great.
Okay, well, I hope everybody's enjoyed it and gotten something out of this. We'd really, really appreciate you sending us an email with any kind of ideas that you have, seriously, because we'd like to see this go once a month for a few years to come.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.